for a little practice of our armies for
Alpha games?
Alpha games, and also for Cambridge Too Far, perhaps. For me, perhaps. Yeah, for me. So we're playing key positions, and there's 4 objectives, and we've placed them out on the table. So we've got this little one behind the building there, and as you can see, we've got another one over at that side. One more over there. And coming back here, we've got one in the trees over here. For purposes of the terrain, the ones with the palm trees are like woods, dense terrain. The buildings can't be seen through, but they're wooden, so it's light cover only. Small shrubberies are just as they are, cover, can be seen through, and the little swamps are difficult going, and the stones block line of sight, and also hard cover as they are. So that's the table as it is, and we're going to move into. Oh yeah, we have deployed some people. Where's mine? Oh, there he is. I've got my medium artillery spotter down here, and Colin has got his forward deploying Japanese scouts over here,
and 2 kamikazes,
and 2 suicide bombers. So that's the Japanese. So yeah, Colin is Japanese. We probably should go through the rest of his army before we go on, and I'll go through mine a little bit. So the army that I'm taking to Cambridge Too Far fits into the early wars, and it's an early Italian army. I'm just using a generic army selection, and I'm taking 2 infantry platoons. And if we look at the first one on the left, we have an inexperienced officer and 2 sections of 5 paratroopers to make up my core infantry. I've then got my Fiat 3000 little tank. It's a 1-man turret, light anti-tank, and it's veteran. Paratroopers are stubborn and veteran. The bigger tank to the left is the L640, and that fits in the armoured car slot, and that's 8+ with an auto cannon. The little Fiat 3000 is armour 7. Behind them they've got a truck for the paratroopers, and that's my spearhead force really. The second platoon, I've got a regular officer and his mate. I've got a medium regular howitzer. I've then got 2 regular infantry sections, and they're 8 men with an LMG and rifles. And then the final infantry is 8 Burstler G, which are veteran, and they've got rifles and an LMG. Hidden away at the back you can see another Fiat 3000, veteran, and it is armed with a light anti-tank gun, armour 7. So for my armour capability, it is all 1-man turrets, which means you have to take a leadership test before you move. And the 2 Fiat 3000s are slow, so they only move at 6 inches rather than the 9. I've made all the tanks veteran, so that it gives me a little bit of a help when doing the leadership tests. And the truck at the background is veteran, just to help bring it on from outflank or reserve. So that's my army. That's the one I'll be going with to a Cambridge Too Far. A little bit of fun, a little bit something different, and we'll see how it goes on the day. So let's have a look at what Colin's bringing along.
Talk loudly so you can hear me. Okay, we're using all veterans today apart from the vehicles. Vehicle at the back, the bigger one, is a Yago with a light howitzer and medium machine gun in the hull. I just like the tank. Next one to it is in the armour car section. It's a Type 92, heavy machine gun in the hull, medium machine gun in the turret, which is pretty good. Next to that we've got a light anti-tank gun, as it is. Those are all regular and no veterans there. All the other units are all veteran. The unit in front of the anti-tank gun is just a veteran infantry unit of 8. Next one to that is a veteran grenadier unit with 3 knee mortars in there. So we're trying just the light mortars. Very expensive unit, about 200 points, which I think is a lot for 10 men, but there you go. Next to it we've got 8 veterans, and the unit with the flag is a unit of 8 veteran engineers, that's it, with a flamethrower in there.
Yep.
And there's also a light machine gun in there, but I haven't actually got the model in there.
Right, yep.
So I've just got to paint that, and the guy over there with the submachine gun and the officer, that's just a regular second lieutenant with his little mate with a submachine gun.
Right, and then to add into that, there's the 2 anti-tank kamikaze guys,
which are all veteran,
and the 3-man
scout unit, which are also veteran.
Right, there you go. That's a Japanese. So my strategy for this game, obviously, to win, you've got to be holding more objectives than your opponent. And we've got 4 objectives here, which means it could run down to a bit of a draw. So I am on the right-hand side of this map, and Colin is going to be on the left-hand side. And you can see that up to the top of the screen, just to the right, is the first objective of mine. And in the palm tree wood in the middle of the picture on the right is the second objective. And you can see that there is another one opposite it, just to the edge of that hut. So I am hoping to hold both of my objectives, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the truck with the 2 units of paratroopers and the L640, because it's got an autocannon, so you get 2 shots. So that's 2 1-inch markers for the templates. So, dogs have just heard somebody. So I'm hoping to outflank on the left-hand side and take that objective, and either to have the 3 objectives. That's the theory. Colin had also decided to put 1 unit onto outflank, and that was going to be an infantry unit. So not too much outflanking for Colin. So he's got Japanese infantry, which are fanatics, and if they advance or run forward, they ignore pins. So it's going to be very difficult to stop them, to hold them up. But we shall see what goes on. I'm a bit concerned about his grenadier unit. So that's got 3 knee mortars in it, and that can do a lot of damage. It doesn't sound much, but it certainly is. 3 light mortars can be troublesome. So let's get into the game. Right, okay, end of turn 1. You can see over here we've got the little advance of the scouts, and we've got the grenadier squad moving on up, and another unit of the Japanese in the centre, just coming close to that objective. And we've got the medium anti-tank gun over there, and there's the Japanese engineers in that bit of palm trees. And we've got the IGO that's come on over on that side. He came on and took a shot at one of the little Fiats and missed, and I brought on one of my other Fiats and took a shot at him and missed. So that was about it. I've got a unit by the objective with the inexperienced officer, and the medium artillery has got a line up the middle, and of course my little spotter is over there, just to the right of that pint glass. So he's over there. Moving around here, it's a little bit tight. We've got 2 infantry units backing up on that objective, and then backing around into here to give some perspective, the scout team and the 2 suicide men. Of course, Colin's got a unit off in outflank, and I've got 4 units off in outflank. This is my force, which is off flank. So they can come on at any time from turn 3 onwards. So, no, I've still got some beer, thank you. So, into turn 2, and the lefties, they're not FTs, the little Fiats have had a shot at the IGO, and one of them did actually hit it, and glanced it, needed a 5, got a 5, and then rolled a 5+ to go with the 3+, because it's long range, so it's -1 pen on the light anti-tank guns. Glanced it and stunned it, so it got 2 pins and went down, so that was quite good. Colin had the last dice out, so he advanced up his little tankette with the heavy machine gun and the light machine gun, and took a shot at this Fiat and missed, and he took a shot at the officer and missed that as well. On this side, the scout team have moved up behind the rocks. I had thought about running the infantry into the house, into the wooden hut, but then I remembered the knee mortar grenadiers coming round here. They could just pound that. They would get 3 dice and just need a 6 out of the 3. So that was a bit risky. So Collins got his troops on the objective over there, and I did take a shot at those with the medium howitzer. Missed it, but they're ranged in on a 5 now. Over on the far side, Collins moved up his anti-tank gun, and he's moved his engineer unit up through the wood into range of the objective. On this side, I've just put the unit down, and over here I've moved the the officers behind the Fiat, just in case I get a snap to, and I might want to do something on there, although it's not particularly useful, snap tos, with these type of troops. It's only a veteran officer there. Could even be regular, actually. I have to check my army list again. So yeah, end of turn 2, moving into turn 3, and outflanking units could come on. So, end of turn 3, and the little tanky that moved up here took a shot at the infantry in the cover, and I put them down, but he did still manage to kill one and put 1 pin on. I advanced up the Fiat, passed its test, it's because it's 1 man and slow, and it did take a shot and it put a pin on it. I'm also ranging in on the little tanky with the medium howitzer, because Colin moved his Japanese away from the objective, so they're off of that now. The knee man mortar team, they went down. You put them in ambush, didn't you? Put them in ambush just in case I brought somebody on, because it was turn 3. And these went on ambush as well, just in case. The 2 little anti-tank men have moved up. And Colin's just having a look at the rules for them attacking tanks.
They mean nasty things.
So what else have we got here? Oh yeah, the medium anti-tank gun moved up to near the objective to take that, and also to cover that other flank. And the engineers have moved across now that that's secured the objective, and they're moving across to cover the flank as well. The little Fiat tank. Oh yeah, the IGO failed its morale test to move and went down, and just to rub salt into the wound, the little Fiat over here took a shot, penetrated it, made it immobilised, and it's got turret jam. So that was a bonus. Not everything went right for me, because I wanted to bring on my reserves that were on outflank, and I rolled a 12. So didn't come on my little tank, so everything else stayed off the board as well. So we're going to move into turn 4. Into turn 4, and things are hotting up in the jungle. The outflanking unit of the Japanese has come round here and to take a shot at the... Oh no, they ran, didn't they? They ran to get in a position to take a charge on the Bursula G. The Bursula D took a shot and put a pin on the Japanese. Colin has then moved around his little anti-tank man to threaten my tank here, and he's also moved around his other one over there to threaten, and if he gets first dice out, my little tank is going to be dead probably. So that's a problem. Move around the LMG team, that's SMG team, and I managed on the unit on ambush in the wood here to kill one and put 1 pin on. The knee mortar men have moved up behind the rocks over there. Over in this side, the other infantry unit have moved forward to the objective again. Over on this side, things were starting to get better for the better for the Italians, and one of the medium anti-tank gun took out the little, what is it? Type 92.
Your medium howitzer.
Medium howitzer.
So took out the Type 92.
Took out the Type 92 because the Type 92 failed its leadership test and reversed.
Really annoying.
Right into the path of my medium howitzer, and my medium howitzer didn't miss. So this turnaround, my flanking units did come on. I did also have a little bit of help on this Yigo. I did hit it again, and I disabled it, immobilised it, and turret jam on it. So that was quite useful. So I brought on the L640, which took a couple of shots at the engineer unit, killed a couple, put a couple of pins on, and then that allowed me, because the medium anti-tank gun couldn't take any shots, it had moved, didn't it?
The light anti-tank gun.
Light anti-tank had moved, so I brought on my truck and debussed the paratroopers, and despite having 20 shots of submachine guns, managed to kill three.
I think, yeah, you killed 3.
Possibly killed, yeah, killed 4. I think I only killed, I didn't know what I did with the autocannon. Didn't do many, did I? Not at all.
No, I killed one with the auto.
But yes, because Colin put them down. That was it, wasn't it? Yeah, to save them. So there's a bit of argy-bargy and first dice out syndrome for this turn 5. So let's get into turn 5. Into turn 5, and it has been a bit of a bloodbath, that turn 5 has. Let's firstly go over here, and I had to go down with this unit of paratroopers because this tank rallied the turn before and decided to take a shot, and did put some kills on this one. That was after I had I had to go down on this, but this unit got the first dice out. You can see that they're lying down dead now though, but they did kill the engineer team just. Couldn't do it first turn, and then it went on to a second turn of combat. And then I only consolidated 2 inches across, which was not good. And then they got shot at by the tank there, because I couldn't react. That took them down to 2. And then Colin moved his officer across and shot them at point blank and killed them, which was a pretty good move on that one. However, we did get rid of the light anti-tank gun with the autocannon from the little L640 over here, so that was quite useful. I'm advancing up the infantry in the centre, moved up the officer to hold the objective, and the infantry have run up, and next turn, if I can get the chance, I'm going to run them into the building, and that should get me within 3 inches of the objective. Over here, this one's being contested by this lone bomber. Colin moved him up, and I needed a 3 to hit him with my tank, and missed. Over here, it has been very bloody. There was a Japanese unit here, which charged, killed the Bursula G. However, I was able to move my medium howitzer, and was able to get a shot, and I needed a 5 and got them, and did kill them. And they lost their leadership test and disappeared. However, these little guys have come up to threaten, and they've taken a pop shot at these. And then the knee mortar men have moved up to get in a position to drop some mortars, and they need 5s with 3 knee mortars next turn as we move into turn 6. So it's pretty close. Contested over here. Colin's holding that one. I'm holding that one. And I'm hoping to take that one, but there's still those 2 little infantrymen and a tank. I've moved my truck up to block the line of sight of the paratroopers, so I'm hoping that I've got a chance to get them across to do something.
Especially because you've
that's what they're hoping.
That's the thing. You've immobilised.
Yeah, and Yigo is immobilised, which is quite good. And his gun's stuck in the front arm.
But anything else. Yeah.
But he's good. He's good. Right, so let's into turn 6. So into turn 6, and very close. Has been very close this turn as to things that have gone on and the troops. So let's have a look. Was able to move the unit into the building. The tank couldn't stop them. The unit here moved up and took out the officer, who had the only opportunity to run around the back. Colin couldn't really put them down, so I shot them to bits. Which allowed me to get the unit up in there to get within 3. So you can just see the little guys underneath. So there they are. So that's over there. So that's one being held. We've got another one being held over here. Over here we are contesting, because that Japanese unit are within 3. Although I've got the tank there and the officers there, it's still contested. So that's there. This the knee mortar team unit run around here and took a shot at the building which I've got my unit in, but didn't get any. But he needs 5s on his mortars next time. It is into turn 6, and Colin is holding that one objective there, so it's 2-1 to me, so I have got the win. However, it does always have a chance to go into turn 7, so you roll the dice.
1, 2 or 3 ends?
1, 2 or 3 ends.
4.
4, and it will go into turn 7.
7.
Better run it, hadn't we?
Yep.
So, end of turn 7, and nothing much changed. It could have just about changed if the 2-man LMG team had survived, and they nearly did. They had a lucky shot to take 1 man, and they failed the leadership test after that. Those little veterans, small team down was very difficult. But that sort of released up that objective point, so Colin had to move the Neem watermen into the building, which allowed me sort of free rein to move 1 unit paratroopers onto the other side, and they're on the objective. And there's also the unit in the house on the objective, and even the IGO's little tank wouldn't have taken out the unit in the middle, really, the light howitzer. Couldn't do 2 units. So in the end, a win 2-1 to the Italians.
Yep, well done.
Yeah, so things for the army. I think for Colin, he's going to have to think about whether he takes veterans or regulars. And for me, I'll probably just keep the army as it is. So, thanks very much for watching. Wow, the dice that deserted me in the 3rd and final game of our mini campaign against John and his British came back to me today and worked pretty well. The 2 hits with the Fiat 3000 on the IGO was really good and helped on that left flank. So my strategy of coming in on that flank worked reasonably well, which I was happy to see. However, it was because of the 3000 Fiat hitting it twice. That was a good result. I like that. So my little tanks are doing very well. They had a chaffy in one of the games that they played against a little while ago, and then they did the IGO. Didn't actually knock this one out, but it did enough damage to cause a lot of problems on that flank and give me the chance to get in there to take that one. So yeah, managed to hold the left objective quite happily with my little officer, and it allowed me to push up that squad through the middle and into the house. It's quite useful actually with the house there. You can move into the house 12 inches and then your troops are in the house and they count as being at the other end of the house because it's just one room. So that allowed me to take that objective as well. Lucky to kill the Japanese officer and his mate. So yeah, that was a good one. The right hand objective that was a little bit of a problem. I didn't think I was going to hold it or even contest it at one stage, because Colin had the 3 infantry sections, and I think probably he caused himself a problem really. He didn't advance down with the grenadiers quickly enough, and I suppose it's indecision really whether to use them to fire the knee mortars, because then you can only move them 6 inches and fire, or run them 12. And I think probably he would have been better served running them down the board 12 and not go into ambush. But I suppose he was worried about something coming on that flank as well. The infantry unit in the middle didn't really do very much and got tied up. So that was useful to myself. So yeah, strategy worked. I'm not sure it would work again. and we did have a discussion afterwards about the Japanese army, and I think too many veterans. That for the Japanese, you don't need veterans. I think he just needed bodies to run and to overrun the objectives, which would have caused me a lot of trouble. Difficult one though, with how it runs, but good to get practice in with a scenario that we don't often play. It gives us something to look at. So we've got Alpha Games, a little tournament, 3-game 1-day tournament coming up this weekend. So I'll be taking the Italians to it. Another little practice game before a Cambridge too far in March. So we'll see how we go. I'll probably do a little video of what's coming up. Just released Warlord GT, the pack for this November's Warlord GT at Nottingham. So I'll have a look at that, and I'll probably do a little video on it to go through what I think about it, what changes they've made, and whether it's going to tempt me to take a trip up the A1 up to Nottingham for the weekend. So we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, look forward to doing that, and I'll put one up about the pack. So thanks very much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comment on anything that went on. That'd be great. Share if you'd like to, and subscribe if you haven't already. So until next time, take care.